Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc. Dr. Mike TV back again, once again. I know it's been a minute, guys, but I appreciate y'all sticking it out with me, and I definitely appreciate the positive messages that all of my fellow brethren reaching out to me offline about my current situation has given me. I am 100% in gratitude and 100% grateful for the people who rock with Doc, truly, all the way through and through, whether it be on tube, whether it be off the tube. But in reference to my situation, many of you guys already know about it, but for those that don't know, your boy got held up at gunpoint. Wasn't a great feeling, man. We talking it out with some people and shit, but yeah, it was one of them moments. And you know, me trying to not think about it, trying to get back into the groove of thing and making these videos. All right, so in light of my situation that just previously happened, I wanted to come to you guys because I did get a question from a subscriber in the email who asked me, Doc, what are the odds of a foreigner getting robbed in the Philippines? And that really did get my mind going in reference to trying to figure out what it could potentially be in reference to the odds of it happening to yourself in your own backyard, okay? So when I think about robbery, or I think about somebody getting robbed, I think of two different ways that can happen to an individual. Number one, of course, held at gunpoint, somebody has a weapon or something that could physically cause you harm. The other, pickpocketing. If somebody robbed you, they, snatched your shit, or, they just took something out your pocket without your knowledge. So when I hear the word robbed, those are the two scenarios that come about. And in reference to the odds of that particularly happening to you abroad, I kind of feel like there are two things that you definitely need to take into place, and one of those is the location. There are some locations in the Philippines that are not as safe as the other areas in the Philippines. So in any words or in any other words, I can't vouch for those particular areas when it comes to levels of safety in reference to, the potential chance of you getting robbed. But if you talk about the Philippines overall, I would honestly have to say that you are more likely to get robbed, held up, stuck up, pickpocketed in your own backyard than you will overseas. I repeat, the likeliness of you getting robbed in your own backyard is highly probable, more so than it would be if you got, more so than actually getting robbed abroad. Now, I lived in the Philippines for 10 years, guys. Never had any instances, never had any problems. With the exception of this prior incident, the only other time where a robbery situation took place and I was in the vicinity was when I used to work high school at a fast food restaurant called Hardee's, okay? I used to work at Hardee's. On the West Coast, they call it Carl Jr.'s, so that you guys can get the equivalency. So that is the only other time it ever happened. I wasn't necessarily the person that had the gun pointed at him. I just happened to be in the vicinity, and somebody tell you get your ass down, you just get down. So that's what I did. And I was working there at the time, and they did rob the joint. I don't know what they got out with. That was like a long time ago, damn near over a decade ago that this happened. So actually longer than that, it's more than a decade. But when reality sets in and you actually think about it, if there's one thing that I don't want to make it seem like I'm promoting, but if there's one talking point that I can't avoid, is that it truly is safer abroad. It's just one of those situations that I can't avoid. It's one of those talking points that's hard for me to avoid. And I can only talk from personal experiences, guys. I can't sit there and speak for everybody else. Maybe somebody's had a situation abroad wherein something negative happened to them, wherein some property or something was taken from them. Money, watches, clothes, whatever it may be, they got taken from them. I can't speak on everybody's situation. I can only speak for myself. And overall, I can honestly say that the odds of me getting caught up in a situation like this again will likely happen more so here than it would be if I had my ass abroad. Now, it does depend on your area and your location too. I mean, if you live in nice little suburban areas, you know, maybe the odds of situations like, you know, robbery and things like that happening will be slim to none within, you know, the confines of the United States of America. But overseas, it just doesn't seem like that's something that is prominent. I mean, you might have heard stories about people saying, oh, well, you shouldn't go overseas, man. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that because, you know, they be robbing people over there. They don't like, you know, black people, or they don't like foreigners and stuff like that. You need to stay over here and stuff like that. And mind you, these are talking points that come from people who have never traveled a day in their lives. But you do have people who try to instill that type of mindset in your head, but yet still you could go down to your neighborhood corner store and they could catch your ass right there. And then what you gonna do, man? Tell me what you gonna do there. So when it comes to the odds of you getting robbed overseas as a foreigner, chances are slim to none in comparison to the odds of that happening to you in the United States. Now, I don't want to say that, you know, it has anything to do with the current landscape and, you know, unemployment and things like that, but that could play a factor. I could honestly say that the individuals involved in the situation that I explained to you guys in the last video, they were damn near kids, right? None of them looked like they was 20. Now, granted, they had the ski mask covered up to the eyes, so, you know, you can't really tell, but by the way they were built, like the size and their build and stuff, you can tell that they weren't really older. You know, they weren't really, if they were in their 20s, they were in the early parts of their 20s, like 20, 21. I didn't see or I think that any of them would have been above the age of like 25 or anything like that. So they was kids. You talk about kids probably still going to school, or kids that ain't going to school, kids who ain't got nothing else better to do because they're not going to school, find themselves in situations like this. Ain't no excuse. I don't give excuses for people. I mean, you kind of make your own life choices, but in hindsight, the same rules apply abroad. You do make your own life choices. Somebody may run up on you. I will never sit there and tell you that it won't happen. I'm just explaining that the likelihood of it happening overseas as opposed to the likeliness of it happening here in your own backyard, chances are the likeliness of it happening home will be more probable than it would be if it happened abroad. All right, but you know, I just wanted to get this quick video out the way, man, just to get back into the groove of things. You know, I don't like going too long without making videos, but I ain't gonna lie to you, it might take me a minute to get back into the groove of things, but you know, we definitely gonna try and see how this shit hit. All right, if I can keep it pushing and keep it moving, y'all know what Good Doc gonna be about. All right, so y'all stay blessed, y'all stay true, man. And with that being said, Good Doc is officially out. At least knuckle, which means I am going now. Bye bye. As always, love you guys, sincerely do. Mahakita, mabuhay. Before I leave, shout out to the International Passport Association. Ladies and gentlemen, founded by none other than the brother HT Logistics 3434. Established whenever he established that shit. But shout out to the squad, man. Shout out to my travel squad out there. Shout out to the Passport crew, Passport Nation. Anybody who puts it in the back of their mind that traveling opens the mind, for sure. All right, y'all take care, man. Doc is out. Peace.